Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदानेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। बोलो श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की
जय।
बोलो श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय।
हरे कृष्णा
एवरीबॉडी।
हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा जय। हरे कृष्णा तरुण।
Hare Krishna everyone, happy Holi.
Happy Holi everyone.
हरे कृष्णा राधे।
हरे कृष्णा भैया। हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन। हैप्पी होली।
हैप्पी होली। कैसे हैं आप?
बस ठीक है भैया।
काफी टाइम के बाद फिर।
हाँ, लास्ट वीक एक्चुअली एग्जाम वगैरह के चक्कर में फंसे हुए थे
ओहो।
तो अटेंड नहीं कर पाए।
ओहो, काफी एग्जाम्स आपके, कभी हो रहे हो आप ग्रेजुएट?
चल रहा है, लाइफ ही एग्जाम हो रखी है भैया।
बहुत मेहनत कर रहे हो। अजय, you on the you're traveling or something?
मैं स्प्रिंग ब्रेक के लिए यहाँ पे कैरोलिना बीच आया हुआ हूँ।
क्या बात है।
तो होपफुली कल शाम तक वापस आ जाएंगे, तो tomorrow I'll be able to read. Today I'm on phone, so
No worries, no worries, but I'm glad you could dial in. It's very nice.
thank you.
And enjoy your trip. But शुरू करते हैं। So हम लोग 7वां अध्याय पढ़ रहे हैं ऑफ 7th स्कंद और 22nd श्लोक पढ़ रहे थे। सॉरी, हम लोग 11th श्लोक पढ़ रहे थे लास्ट टाइम। एंड जैसा कि हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं, वी आर रीडिंग अबाउट भक्त प्रहलाद, या प्रहलाद महाराज के बारे में पढ़ रहे हैं। So it's all started with Narad Muni being there, Maharaj Yudhishthira asking the question to Narad Muni, right? And this all started when Lord Krishna, threw his Sudarshan Chakra to kill Shishupal. Shishupal had been jealous of Lord Shri Krishna since birth, but once Sudarshan Chakra hit, Shishupal's body got merged into Lord Shri Krishna. And by seeing that, Yudhishthira Maharaj was very surprised. During the Rajshri Yajna, तो युधिष्ठिर महाराज नारद मुनि से पूछ रहे हैं कि how is that possible? Somebody who has been jealous of Lord Shri Krishna, how can he get merged into Lord Shri Krishna's environment? And he was very surprised. तो उसका आंसर नारद मुनि दे रहे हैं। फिर नारद मुनि बता रहे हैं कि जय एंड विजय were द्वारपाल of Lord Shri Vishnu. Sanat Kumars, when they tried to enter, they did not allow them to enter. And at that time, Sanat Kumars give shrap to Jay and Vijay, who are Dwarpal of Lord Vishnu. And shrap was that they are going to take 3 births on earth. And out of those 3 births, first one was Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksh. The second one was Ravan and Kumbhakaran. And third one is Shishupal and Shishupal and the other, and his brother, right? So that's the story which Narad Muni is reciting to Yudhishthira Maharaj. So we are reading about Hiranyakashipu, where Hiranyakashipu being upset that Lord Varaha in the So Lord Vishnu in the form of Lord Varaha kills Hiranyaksh, right? He takes the earth out of the ocean, brings it out. But Hiranyakashipu is very upset with that. And he wants to take revenge from Lord Sri Vishnu. So he goes for tapasya. Yeah. So Hiranyakashipu goes for tapasya in Mandranchal Parvat. Okay. And at that time, so what Prahlāda Maharaj, and we know in the middle, Prahlāda Maharaj is devotee of Lord Vishnu, is constantly reciting name of Narayan. And by seeing this, Hiranyakashipu sends him for Gurukul, Shanda and Akarm, who are sons of Sukracharya, tries to give him education of different kind. Prahlāda Maharaj doesn't take it, and Prahlāda Maharaj then also to Hiranyakashipu's answer in terms of what's the most important part which he has learned during Gurukul, and Prahlāda Maharaj recites the 9 ways of doing devotional service, right? Shavanam, Kirtanam, Archanam, Padasevanam, Vishnu Ishmaranam, right? So he recites that, and Hiranyakashipu gets very upset with that. And then he ties him in there in the Gurukul, where Prahlāda Maharaj, once Shanda and Akarm lives, he is giving this transcendental knowledge to his friends. Yeah, that's what is going on. So when he gave this transcendental knowledge to his friends, all the friends are asking Prahlāda Maharaj, how was that possible for you to get this knowledge? Where did you get it from? Yeah, it's never possible to get Sangha of such sense, but how did you gain this knowledge? That's what Prahlāda Maharaj is now explaining, that how did he gain this transcendental knowledge. And he is telling that once Hiranyakashipu goes for doing tapasya, all the devatas attacks the demons. And when they attack the demon, after defeating them, they are taking away Hiranyakashipu's wife, whose name is Kayadu. So Indradev is taking her away. She is expecting Prahlāda Maharaj at that time. Narad Muni intervenes. Narad Muni tells Indradev, it's not fair to take her like this. And then Prahlāda Maharaj and Narad Muni tells that he will take care of her till Hiranyakashipu returns back. And that's what Prahlāda Maharaj is telling. That's what we are reading right now, right? So I just want to give a brief summary of where we are, right? So what we are reading right now is Prahlāda Maharaj telling all the friends about how did he learn this transcendental knowledge. Yeah. So we read Shlok 11 last week, where Prahlāda Maharaj is saying that when the great saint Narad Muni had thus spoken, King Indra, being respectful to Narad's words, immediately released my mother. Yeah. Because of my being a devotee of the Lord, all the demigods circumambulated her. Then they returned to their celestial kingdom. Yeah. So once Narad Muni stopped Devrishi Narad Muni stopped Indradev. Yeah. They being respectful to Narad Muni, they released the mother, and then Parikramya Divam Yayo. Yeah, they gave Parikrama to Narad Muni, to Prahlāda Maharaj actually, because being the devotee of the Lord, all the demigods circumambulated her, right? So Prahlāda Maharaj's mother, because Prahlāda Maharaj is in the womb of her mother at that time, they circumambulate and then they return to Divam Yayo, they back to their kingdom. Yeah, that's what Prahlāda Maharaj is telling. So let's continue to read Shlok 12 and read it.
ततो मे मातर्मृषिः समानीय निजाश्रमे आश्वास्ये होष्यतां वत्से यावत्ते भर्तुरागमः. Prahlāda Maharaj continued, the great saint Narad Muni brought my mother to his ashram and assured her of all protection, saying, my dear child, please remain at my ashram until the arrival of your husband. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Nij Ashram, Narad Muni's ashram, and that's where Narad Muni brings Ayadhu and Prahlāda Maharaj is in her womb. Rinaji?
तथेयत्वा अत्सि देवर्षेरन्तिके साकुतो भया यावद्यते पतिर्घोरात् पशो न न्यवर्तत. After accepting the instructions of Devarshi Narad, my mother stayed in his care without fear from any direction, as long as my father, the king of the Daityas, had not become free from his severe austerities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So as long as, and you know that Hiranyakashipu did tapasya for thousands of years at the Mandrachal Parvat. Tarun?
Rishim Paryakarat Tatra Bhaktya Parmaya Sati Antarvatni Swa Garbhasya Shemecha Prastutaye. My mother, being pregnant, desired the safety of her embryo and desired to give birth after her husband's arrival. Thus she stayed at Narad Muni's ashram, where she rendered service unto Narad Muni with great devotion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, and who is speaking right now?
Prahlāda Maharaj.
Prahlāda Maharaj, yeah? Prahlāda Maharaj is telling this to all the friends at Gurukul, because they are asking, like, where did you learn this knowledge from? That's the story which Prahlāda Maharaj is telling. Yeah, and he's saying that the mother being pregnant, yeah, and she basically was rendering service unto Narad Muni with great devotion, right? At that time, Prahlāda Maharaj was in her womb. Huh? ऋषि कारुणी कस्तस्या राधा अदुभयमीश्वरः धर्मस्य तत्वं ज्ञानं च मामप्युदृश्य निर्मलम्. Narad Muni delivered his instructions both to me, who was within the womb, and to my mother, who was engaged in rendering him service. Because he is naturally extremely kind to the fallen souls, being in a transcendental position, he gave instructions on religion and transcendental knowledge. These instructions were free from all material contamination. Yeah. So what Prahlāda Maharaj is telling to all the friends, that Narad Muni being Karuni Kastasya. Yeah. Karuni Kastasya, like he is so kind, extremely kind to the fallen souls. Who is that? Whom is Prahlāda Maharaj talking about? Who is extremely kind to the fallen souls?
Narad Muni.
Narad Muni, yeah, he's telling about Narad Muni, that Narad Muni being Rishi hai Karuni Kastasya. What did he do? And then he is in a transcendental position, Abhayami Ishvara. He gave instructions on what? On Dharmasya, Dharma, yeah, Tattvam, the transcendental knowledge, Jnanam, yeah, and saying Nirmalam means it's free from all material contamination. That's the instruction Narad Muni gave to Ayodhya, who is Hiranyakashipu's wife, and of course, Prahlāda Maharaj being in the womb was listening to that. Very nice purport. So let's read this. Tarun?
Here it is said, Dharmasya Tattvam Dhyanam Cha Nirmalam. The word Nirmalam refers to spotless dharma, spotless religion, or in other words, Bhagavata Dharma. Ordinary ritualistic activities constitute contaminated religion, by which one benefits by developing material wealth and prosperity. But uncontaminated, pure religion consists of understanding one's relationship with God and acting accordingly, thus fulfilling the highest mission of life and returning home back to Godhead. Prahlāda Maharaj advised that one elevate oneself to the standard of Bhagavata Dharma from the very beginning of life. Komara kare prajno dharman Bhagavatam iha. The Lord himself also speaks of pure, uncontaminated religion when he says, Sarva dharman pratiyajya mam ekam saranam vraja. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. One must understand one's relationship with God and then act accordingly. This is Bhagavata Dharma. Bhagavata Dharma means Bhakti Yoga. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Payojita Janayati Asu Vairagyam Jnanam Cha Yad Ahetukam. By rendering devotional service unto the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. Bhagavad 1.2.7. To be situated on the platform of pure religion, one should perform Bhakti Yoga in relationship with Krishna, Vasudeva. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. And very important paragraph. So many things mentioned here actually. Right. So one is uncontaminated pure religion consists of understanding one's relationship with God. Right. What's the pure religion? The religion is really to understand what is the relationship with the Lord. Yeah. Ishwar. And act accordingly. Thus fulfilling the highest mission of life. And that is understanding the relationship with God is the highest mission of life. Yeah. And that highest mission of life is essentially then returning back to Godhead. Yeah. Going back to the spiritual world, getting out of the materialistic Janma Mrityu, old age and disease. Yeah. That's what is mentioned here. And when we read about this, which is very famous, right? Sarva dharman paritajya mam ekam sharanam vrijaya. Mam ekam sharanam vrijaya. Yeah, that's what Lord Shri Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, right? That you just surrender unto me. And what does surrender unto me means? Be in bhakti yoga. That's the Bhagavad Dharma. Yeah, that's the Dharma. The Dharma which we want to adopt is Bhagavad Dharma. And Bhagavad Dharma is nothing but means bhakti yoga. Yeah. And bhakti yoga, how do we do the bhakti yoga? What's the way? How do we render devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead? What are different ways of doing it?
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Seva.
Right, yeah. We read in detail those 9 different ways by which we do the devotional service. Yeah. And that's Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, and so on, right? So there are 9 different ways, and that's what, if we do it, it's mentioned Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Jnanat Asu Vairagyam. That's how will you get the Vairagyam as well. Jnanam Chayat Ahet Tukam. Yeah, by rendering devotional service unto personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge. How do we gain knowledge? It's not in our control to gain the knowledge. We are so limited in our knowledge and intelligence and mind and everything. So how do we really gain the knowledge where we can establish our relationship to Lord Shri Krishna? And to gain that, how do we get it? Is that the process? That process is the Bhakti Yoga. And that's how we will get causeless knowledge. Lord Shri Krishna himself is saying that. And detachment, right? And then we'll be situated on the platform of pure religion. To associate there, we need to perform Bhakti Yoga in relationship with Lord Shri Krishna is what is mentioned, right? So very important. And this is essentially the message which Narad Muni delivered to almost in warm, right? Prahlāda Maharaj. And that's the instruction which he is giving to all his friends right now. Yeah. So very nice. Rinaji?
तत्तु कालस्य दीर्घत्वात् स्त्रीत्वान्मास्तुस्ते दुरोदधे ऋषिणानुगृहीतं मां नाधो नाप्यज्ञहात्स्मृते. Because of the long duration of time that has passed and because of her being a woman and therefore less intelligent, my mother has forgotten all those instructions. but the great sage Narad blessed me, and therefore I could not forget them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Prahlāda Maharaj is telling all his friends, how did he gain this transcendental knowledge? And he's saying he got in the womb of his mother, right? And none other than Narad Muni actually gave him the knowledge, is what is mentioned here. It says here that one must take shelter of the Lord and rigidly follow the rules and regulations. Then, regardless of what one is, one will return home back to Godhead. Prahlāda Maharaj's mother was more concerned with protecting the child in the womb and was very anxious to see her husband return. Therefore, she could not consider very seriously the sublime instructions of Narad Muni, is what is mentioned. But Prahlāda Maharaj got all the instructions, even being in the womb of his mother. Hare Krishna, Sachin.
हरे कृष्णा भवतामपि भूयान में यदि श्रद्धा दधे वचः वैशारदी धी श्रद्धातः स्त्रीबालानां च मे यथा. Prahlāda Maharaj continued, my dear friends, if you can place your faith in my words simply by the faith that you can also understand transcendental knowledge, just like me, although you are small children, similarly, a woman can also understand transcendental knowledge and know what is spirit and what is matter. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Prahlāda Maharaj is saying that even though you are small children, like Prahlāda Maharaj was small children at that time, if you place the faith, and you will be able to understand the transcendental knowledge, is what is mentioned. Again, a very nice purport. Let's read this, Anilji.
These words of Prahlāda Maharaj are very important in regard to knowledge descending by the disciplic succession. Even when Prahlāda Maharaj was a baby within the womb of his mother, he became fully convinced of the existence of the Supreme Power because of hearing the powerful instructions of Narad and understood how to attain perfection in life by Bhakti Yoga. These are the most important understandings in the spiritual knowledge. Yasya Dev Para Bhaktir Yatha Deve Tatha Gurau Tasyate Kathitat Kathita Hi Artha Prakasante Mahatmana. Unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master, all the imports of Vedic knowledge are automatically revealed. Sevasvatara Upanishad 6.23. Atah Shri Krishna Namadi Na Bhaved Graham Indriya Sevo Mukhe Hi Jihvavana Jihatau Swam Eva Spurti Yada. No one can understand Krishna as he is by the blunt materialist senses, but he reveals himself to the devotees, being pleased with them for their transcendental loving service unto him. Bhakti Rasamurta Sindhu 1.2.234. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, it's again and again mentioned that unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master, all the imports of Vedic knowledge are automatically revealed. Yeah. Once you are in Bhakti Yoga, the Vedic knowledge is automatically revealed, is what is mentioned. No one can understand Krishna by the blunt material senses. Yeah. Na bhaved graham indriya hai. By the physical senses, you cannot understand Lord Krishna. Yeah. By speculations, by all the philosophy, everything else, you cannot understand Lord Krishna. But he reveals himself to the devotees. Yeah. By Bhakti Yoga to the devotees. Yeah. Being pleased with them for their transcendental loving service unto him, Lord Sri Krishna reveals himself. Yeah. Is what is mentioned. Hare Krishna Prem.
Hare Krishna. Bhaktaya mam abhijanati yavan yas chashmi tatva tatvata tato mam tatvato jantva viste tad anantaram. one can understand the Supreme Personality as he is only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Bhagavad Gita 18.55. These are Vedic instructions. One must have full faith in the words of the spiritual master and similar faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then the real knowledge of Atma and Paramatma and the distinction between matter and spirit will be automatically revealed. This Atma Tattva or spiritual knowledge will be revealed within the core of a devotee's heart because of his having taken shelter of the lotus feet of Mahajanas such as Prahlāda Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? Hare Krishna, Satya.
हरे कृष्ण जन्माद्यः शरीमे भावा दृष्टा देहस्य नात्मनः फलानमिव वृक्षस्य कालेन श्वरमूर्तिना. Just as the fruits and flowers of a tree in due course of time undergo 6 changes: birth, existence, growth, transformation, dwindling, and then death, the material body, which is obtained by the spirit soul under different circumstances, undergoes similar changes. However, there are no such changes for the spirit soul. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, who is speaking right now?
This is Narad Muni to Prahlāda Maharaj.
Yeah, of course, right? So Narad Muni is speaking to Prahlāda Maharaj, and at the same time, right now, Prahlāda Maharaj is telling to all his friends, right? And that's the knowledge which he got from Narad Muni, is giving it to all the friends in Gurukul. Yeah. So what he's saying is, just as the fruits and flowers of a tree undergo 6 changes. Says, yeah, Janma Adhya Shadi mein. Shadi is like 6. Yeah, 6 changes. Drishta Dehashana Atmana. So birth, Janma, existence, yeah, then growth, it grows, it transforms, dwindling, right, at the end, and then death. Those are the 6 changes which a tree undergoes. And by example of that, Prahlāda Maharaj is saying that the material body also goes through the same changes. However, such thing does not happen for the spirit soul. Yeah, the soul is Satchit Anand, and it doesn't go through that, but the material body does. Yeah? And very nice purport again. Let's read this, Tarun.
There are 2 kinds of soul: the Supreme Soul, the personality of Godhead, and the individual soul, the living entity. As various bodily changes take place in the individual soul, different millenniums of creation take place in the Supreme Soul. In this regard, Madhavacharya says, Sadvikara sarisarasya na vishnostad gatasya cha tad adhinam saritram cha jnanatva tan mamatanam tyajate. Since the body is the external feature of the soul is not dependent on the body, rather the body is dependent on the soul. One who understands the truth should not be very much anxious about the maintenance of his body. There is no possibility of maintaining the body permanently or eternally. Antavante vanta ime deha nitya slokata nitya syoktaka saririnaha. This is the statement of Bhagavad Gita 2.18. The material body is antavat, perishable. The soul within the body is eternal. Nityastotaka saririna. Lord Vishnu and the individual souls, who are part and parcel of him, are both eternal. Nityo nityam chetanas chetananam. Lord Vishnu is the chief living being, whereas the individual living entities are parts of Lord Vishnu. All the various grades of bodies, from the gigantic universal body to the small body of an ant, are perishable. But the super soul and the soul, being equal in quality, both exist eternally. This is further explained in the next verses. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So the important thing which is mentioned here, right, is that the soul is, there is a supreme soul and there is an individual soul. Yeah. So there is a Atma and there is a Paramatma. So the Paramatma, right, as we have read, Kshirodakshai Vishnu. Yeah. And the soul is related to the supreme soul. It's mentioned that. So we have the Sthul Sharir, then we have the Suksham Sharir, then we have the soul, which is Atma, which is part and parcel of Paramatma. Right? All the Atmas are part and parcel of Paramatma. So that's what is being mentioned here. Yeah. And other part is mentioned being equal in quality, right? The Atma also has similar quality like the Paramatma, like Sat, Chit, Anand, right? It's always there. It's always blissful. Those qualities are there in Atma also, right? But still, it's not equivalent to Paramatma as such, right? So that's the difference in Paramatma and Atma. And of course, we'll read more about that is what is mentioned here. Yeah, the body is of course perishable. It doesn't matter whether the material body is of whoever, yeah, including ant or anything else, right? 8.4 million species. Rinaji?
आत्मा नित्यो अव्ययः शुद्ध एकः क्षेत्रज्ञ आश्रयः अविक्रिय स्वदृग् हेतुव्यापको असंगनावृतः एतैर्द्वादश विर्विद्वानात्मनो लक्षणैः परे अहं ममेत्य सद्भावं देहादौ मोहजं त्यजेत्. Atma refers to the Supreme Lord or the living entities. Both of them are spiritual, free from birth and death, free from deterioration, and free from material contamination. They are individual, they are the knowers of the external body, and they are the foundation or shelter of everything. They are free from material change, they are self eliminated, they are the cause of all causes, and they are all pervading. They have nothing to do with the material body, and therefore they are always uncovered. With these transcendental qualities, one who is actually learned must give up the illusory conception of life in which one thinks, I am this material body and everything in relationship with this body is mine. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So the qualities of Atma is what is described here, right? That Atma refers to the Supreme Lord or the living entities. The spiritual is free from birth and death, free from deterioration. It's free from material contamination. All right. It says here, Atma Nitya. It's always there. There's no birth and death. It's always there. Avyaya hai, like, yeah, there's no deterioration. It doesn't go less. It's Shuddha. It's pure. Yeah. And so on. So this is how the Atma is described, right? It's free from material change, self-eliminated, is the cause of all causes, all pervading. Yeah. Is how the Atma is described. Read this, Prem.
We should always remember that although we are equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in quality, we are never equal to Him in quantity. Persons with a small fund of intelligence, finding themselves equal in quality with God, foolishly think that they are equal in quantity too. Their intelligence is called Avishuddha Buddhaya, unpolished or contaminated intelligence. When such persons, after enduring hard for many, many lives to understand the Supreme Cause, are finally in actual knowledge of Krishna, Vasudeva, they surrender unto Him. Vasudeva Sharanam iti sa Mahatma Sudur Labha. Thus they become great Mahatmas, perfect souls. If one is fortunate enough to understand his relationship with God, knowing that God is great, Vibhu, whereas the living entity is small, Anu, he is perfect in knowledge. The individual exists in darkness when he thinks that he is the material body and that everything in relationship with the material body belongs to him. This is called Aham Mama. Gyan Mohoyam Aham Mameti. This is illusion. one must give up his illusionary conception and thus become fully aware of everything. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. स्वनं यथा ग्रावसु हेमकारः क्षेत्रेषु योगेस्तभिज्ञया प्रियात् क्षेत्रेषु देहेषु तथा आत्मयोगे रध्यात्मविद ब्रह्म गतिं लभेत्. An expert geologist can understand where there is gold and by various processes can extract it from the gold ore. Similarly, a spiritually advanced person can understand how the spiritual particle exists within the body. And thus, by cultivating spiritual knowledge, he can attain perfection in spiritual life. However, as one who is not expert cannot understand when there is gold, a foolish person who has not cultivated spiritual knowledge cannot understand how the spirit exists within the body. Yeah, for a lot of people, it's very difficult to understand how the spirit exists within the body. Yeah. Kshetreshu deheshu tatha atma yoge. How do you really understand that the spiritual particle exists within the body? So nice purport given here. Yeah. So it is Sachin.
Therefore, Bhagavad Gita begins by teaching Dehino asmin yatha dehe Kaumaram Yauvanam Jara Tatha Dehantara Praptir Dhirasa Tatra Na Muhyati. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Bhagavad Gita 2.13. Thus the first instruction is that one should understand that the soul is within the body and is transmigrating from one body to another. This is the beginning of spiritual knowledge. Any person who is not expert in understanding this science or is unwilling to understand it remains in bodily conception of life or the animalistic conception of life as confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Yasyatma buddhihi kunape tri dhatuke sa eva Karaha. Every member of human society should clearly understand the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, for only in this way one can be spiritually elevated and automatically give up the false, illusory knowledge by which one thinks, I am this body and everything belonging to this body is mine, aham mameti. This doggish conception should be rejected immediately. One should be prepared to understand the spirit soul and the supreme spirit, God, who are eternally related. Thus one may return home back to Godhead, having solved all the problems of life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, the important part mentioned here is as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, right? We have all seen that. So Yadeno ismin yatha dehe kumaram yonam jara. Yeah, from childhood to yonam youth to jara is the old age. Yeah. Similarly, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. Says that tatha dehantar praptir, right? So at that time, it automatically passes into another body. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Been mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, and one should be prepared to understand the spirit soul, the Atma and Paramatma. Yeah, is what is being mentioned here. Anilji?
अष्टौ प्रकृतयः प्रोक्तास्त्रय एव हि तद्गुणाः विकाराः षोडशाचार्यैः पुमानेकाः समन्वयात्. The Lord's 8 separated material energies, the 3 modes of material nature, and the 16 transformations, the 11 senses, and the 5 gross material elements like earth and water within all of them. The one spiritual soul exists as the observer. Therefore, all the great acharyas have concluded that the individual soul is conditioned by these material elements. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Narad Muni and of course Prahlāda Maharaj is saying Asto Prakritayah, right? Asto is 8. There are 8 separated material energies. Yeah, like we know that we have gross body and the Suksham Sharir, right? The gross body is made up of 5 elements. What are those 5 elements?
Agni,
Prithvi,
Vayu, Jal, Akash,
Prithvi.
and Prithvi.
Right? So those are the 5. The gross body is made up of this. Sthul Sharir is made up of. And then we have 3 elements of Suksham Sharir. Yeah. What are those?
Just thumbs.
Man, buddhi, ahankar.
Sorry.
Yeah. The 3 Suksham Sharir is Man, mind, Buddhi is intelligence, and Ahankar, right? Self-ego. Those are the 8 separated energies of the Lord. 3 modes of material nature. What are the 3 modes of material nature?
Tamas, Rajas, and
Right. Satogun, Tamogun, and Rajogun. Yeah. Mode of goodness, mode of patience, and mode of ignorance. So, Asto Prakatehe, Prokta is Traya. Traya hai, evahi tadruna hai. Yeah, 3 modes of material nature, and then the 16 transformations. Yeah, Vikara hai. Shodashacharya hai. Like Shodasha is the 16 Vikara hai, right? Which has 11 senses and the 5 gross material elements like earth and water. Within all these, one spirit soul exists as the observer. So within this materialistic body, which is composed of all the elements, there is a soul inside. And all the great acharyas, yeah, there are great acharyas, acharya, yeah, they have concluded that the individual soul is there, but it's conditioned by the material elements. Yeah, I think we'll pause here since we're almost at the end of time. Very nice purport. I think we are going to read it tomorrow. Very nicely described. So we'll just pause here right now. And I will continue reading this tomorrow, 9:30. We had a great Holi this weekend, right? We also had Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaur Purnima, which is the biggest festival. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than avatar of Lord Shri Krishna himself, right? So today we are going to see the Holi in Vrindavan with Premanandji Maharaj. I don't know how many of you have heard about Premanandji Maharaj, but he is one of the very respected Mahatmas in Vrindavan. We'll see his Holi, right? Maybe 5 to 7 minutes. And then tomorrow we'll see the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Aarti, Gaur Aarti for Chaitanya Purnima. Yeah. So let's see the Holi as played by Premanandji Maharaj in Vrindavan.
This is your moment to experience luxury like never before.
दिव्य दंपति जय जय श्री राधे श्याम जय जय श्री राधे श्याम जय जय श्री
Thinking I'm gonna start cutting carbs. I need to drop my
Cool. So nice to see Holy in Vrindavan, yeah?
Mhm.
And this is Premananji Maharaj. He's been like very enlightening. So all the big Mahatmas go to Premananji Maharaj to see him and get his transcendental vision. No? So nice to see that. We'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 again. We'll also hear the Gaur Purnima Aarti tomorrow. Yeah? And nice coincidence that we are also reading about Bhakta Prahlāda Maharaj, right? That's what the holy celebration is all about as well. So, see you tomorrow, 9:30.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.